Once upon a time, in the quaint little village of Pinecone Grove that lay snuggled against the edge of a dense, mystical forest, lived a charming little girl named Rosemary. However, everyone lovingly knew her as Little Red Riding Hood, owing to the magnificent crimson cloak with a hood that she always wore. This cloak was a heartfelt gift from her beloved Granny on her 7th birthday. It was as vibrant as her spirit and as cozy as her laughter that sparkled, much like sun rays bouncing off morning dew. Little Red, as everyone affectionately called her, was the heart of the village with her bubbling energy and joyous laughter that echoed through the small cottages and across the flower-laden meadows. She was incredibly close to her Granny, a wise and gentle woman who lived in a quaint little cottage on the other side of the deep forest. Granny was a treasure chest of enthralling stories, wisdom, and delightful treats. She was like a living, breathing book of wonder, her tales illuminating the world for Little Red. One bright, sunny morning, Little Red's mother, the tender-hearted Mrs. Hood, looked quite perturbed. Granny had caught a stubborn cold and was stuck in her bed, unable to bake her delicious cookies or play her lively tunes on the old piano. Mrs. Hood had baked Granny's favorite cinnamon cookies and brewed some soothing herbal tea, known for its miraculous healing properties, to help her recover. "Little Red," Mrs. Hood said, holding out a carefully packed wicker basket, "could you please take this to Granny? She could use some cheering up. And my dear, remember what we always say. Stay on the path, no matter how inviting the forest might look, and don't talk to strangers." Thrilled at the chance to see Granny and provide some comfort, Little Red kissed her mother's cheek, her eyes sparkling with determination. She grabbed the basket, the delicious smell of cookies wafting up, and began her journey. The forest was tranquil and serene, the chirping birds providing a harmonious symphony that accompanied her journey. Her heart matched the rhythmic pulse of the woods, every step she took radiating her commitment to the task at hand. Deep in the heart of the woods, a cunning, sharp-eyed wolf lurked. He was a crafty creature, known for his sly tricks and mischievous acts. When he saw Little Red and the appetizing basket in her hand, his stomach let out a growl. Rubbing his paws together, he thought of a devious plan to get the basket, and maybe more. Putting on his most charming smile, he approached Little Red. "Why, hello, little girl. Such a lovely day, isn't it? And where might you be headed to on this fine morning?" he asked, trying to sound friendly and harmless. Little Red felt a prick of suspicion, but then thought of her Granny's stories where kindness won over evil. So she told the seemingly friendly wolf about her sick Granny. She said, "I'm off to see my Granny who lives in a cottage at the end of this path. She isn't feeling well, and I'm taking her some cookies and herbal tea." The wolf, thrilled at the prospect of a double feast, quickly came up with a diversion. "Oh dear, that's unfortunate. You know what might cheer her up more? Some beautiful wildflowers. Look at that field over there. It's brimming with them." Little Red looked towards the field. It was indeed a beautiful sight with flowers of every imaginable color dancing in the breeze. She thought that a bouquet of wildflowers would be the perfect addition to her basket. Leaving the basket on the path, she ventured into the field to gather the prettiest flowers, forgetting her mother's warning. Meanwhile, the wolf, grinning from ear to ear, sped off towards Granny's house, his mind swirling with wicked plans. Reaching Granny's humble cottage, the wolf cunningly tricked Granny into thinking he was Little Red, and before she could call for help, he swallowed her whole. He then quickly dressed himself in Granny's nightgown, put on her glasses, and jumped into her bed, eagerly waiting for Little Red. When Little Red reached Granny's house, she noticed the door ajar. "Granny, it's me, Little Red," she called out, stepping inside, feeling a knot of worry in her stomach. She went to Granny's bedroom and found her looking extremely odd. "Granny, what big eyes you have!" she exclaimed, standing by the bedside. "All the better to see you with, my dear," replied the wolf in a croaky voice, struggling to mimic Granny's loving tone. "And Granny, what big ears you have!" Little Red noticed, a strange feeling creeping into her heart. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," said the wolf, trying to keep his growing excitement under control. "And Granny, what big teeth you have!" Little Red exclaimed, her voice shaking a little now. "All the better to—" But before the wolf could finish, the room echoed with a sudden loud crash. In strode the village's burly woodcutter, wielding his shiny axe. He had been passing by Granny's house when he saw the front door open and heard strange noises. With one mighty swing of his axe, he managed to free Granny from the wolf's belly. The wolf, utterly terrified, ran out of the house, vowing never to return. Little Red and Granny were overjoyed and relieved. They thanked the brave woodcutter, who humbly brushed off their praises, saying he was just glad they were safe. Little Red hugged Granny tight, promising to always remember her mother's words about not straying from the path and not talking to strangers. From that day forward, they lived happily and safely, filling their days with laughter, cookies, herbal tea, and exciting stories. The end.